Hello everyone, so this is Khushi Sharma and I am here today to present this video on internet addressing and Inet address. This video is part of my Java assignment, so please be generous to give a like and share as much as you can. So let's begin the video. First, we have all the topics that we are going to cover. That is internet addressing, physical addressing, logical addressing, types of IP address, domain name system, Inet address, versions of IP address, TCP IP protocol, Java Inet address class methods, and a Inet program. So first question arises, why do we need internet addressing? So for that, we have the internet is a vast collection of machines and devices spread out across the world. There is an important need to identify and locate a specific one. We will look into greater detail about how addresses work and how they are represented in Java. Internet addressing. Each internet host is assigned at least one unique internet address. The address is used by the IP and other higher level protocols. When gateway hosts are used, more than one address may be required. Each interface to an internet is assigned its own unique address. Internet addresses are used to route packets through the network. Next, we have the physical addressing. The physical address is generated by the manufacturer of NIC, that is the Network Interface Card. The media access control or the MAC address is a 6-bit 6 bytes address that manufacturers of the network adapters burn into their products, that is embedded into the products to uniquely identify them. But as it does not include any networking information, communication based solely on MAC addresses will be unscalable, or we can say that it will not be able to work for very long or efficiently. So this is how a physical address works. So we have a host and that we have IP address and MAC address, and this is like a server or any center node, and then we have to send messages or communicate with other nodes. And we have here this internet frame consisting of different things, that is destination MAC address, source MAC address, destination IP, source ID, user, and trailer. So multicast IP and MAC destination addresses deliver packet frame to a specific group of hosts. So this is how all the physical addressing works. Next is logical addressing. Logical addressing is basically also called that as IP address. So here we have the internet protocol address or an IP address. It's a 32-bit unique address that computing devices use to identify itself and communicate with other devices in the internet protocol network. An IP address uniquely identify all computers on the public network. The IP address is used by the Internet Protocol to route IP datagrams to the correct location. Here is an example. So we have 172.16.254.1. So further, we are going to learn about this IPv4 and IPv6, that is the versions of IP addresses and the number of bits that they have. The type of IP addresses, there's basically two type of IP addresses. These are static IP address and dynamic IP address. So first with the static. So static IP address is an IP address that can be manually configured for a device. It can be given to a device manually as well. Static IP addresses are also more stable for internet since they never change and it will never change. So it cannot be changed. The main point is that. The next is dynamic IP address. A dynamic IP address is an IP address assigned by a DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol server, which can be changed automatically anytime. Saving time in a large LAN network, dynamic IP helps you to save your time as you need not to configure hundreds of computers manually. Now the next is domain name system. This is somewhat of friendly name systems for us so that we should not be confused between them. And this is not mandatory most of the time. The IP and the MAC addresses are the mandatory one. So let's see what domain name system is. So domain name system allows textual names to be associated with IP addresses. Any entity, be it commercial, government, or private, can apply for a domain name. The name of the name can be used by the people to locate that identity on internet. In addition, organizations can allocate their own host names once they have their domain name. For example, FTP davidreilly.com and www.davidreilly.com. Next, we have Inet address. So it is related to Java and how Java actually handles all this addressing. So Java Inet address class represents an IP address. It is basically how we see or handle IP address, and so that the sharing of data can be better. The java.net.inet address class provides methods to get the IP of any host name. For example, www.javatpoint.com, google.com, or www.facebook.com, etc. Now, INET address. An IP address helps you identify specific resource on the network using a numerical representation. As we have already learned about the IP address, so now we also have TCP, that is most network combined IP and TCP, that is transmission control protocol. It builds a virtual bridge among the destination and the source. We're going to learn about TCP in the further video as well. And as I was saying before, there are two versions of IP address. These are IPv4 and IPv6. So let's learn about these two in detail. So IPv4 is the primary internet protocol and it is the older version. We can say that. It is widely used IP version to differentiate devices on network using an addressing scheme. The its features are, it is a connectionless protocol. It utilizes less memory and the addresses can be remembered easily with the class-based addressing scheme. It also offers video conferencing and libraries. The next is IPv6. So IPv6 is the latest version of Internet Protocol. It aims at fulfilling the need of more Internet addresses. Features are, it has a stateful and stateless both configuration. It provides support for quality of service. It is a it has a hierarchical addressing and routing infrastructure. Moving along, we have TCP/IP protocol. So TCP/IP is a communication protocol model used to connect devices over a wide network. I mean, that is network all over the world. So TCP/IP helps in the process of addressing, transmitting, routing, and receiving the data packets over the internet. The two main protocols used in the communication models are TCP/IP and the IP, that is Internet Protocol. So in Java, we have many methods. That is Java init address class methods. So let's see one by one. Public static init address get by name, string host throws unknown host exception, returns the instance of init address. Public static init address get localhost throws unknown exceptions, returns the instance of init address containing localhost and address. We will see this method in the following program. Public string get host name returns the host name of the IP address, and public string get host address returns the IP address in the string format. So here we have a sample program to find out the IP address of the current machine. So first we import the basic IO phase and class and the net. Then we have made a class of Inet demo, and we start here, and in next line we get the local host of our computer machine. If you will run the program, you will get your IP address and host name. And here I have run in my PC, so I'll show you how the output looks. Here it is, and we can see that it gives my host name, that is Nitro5x, and my IP address as well. So that's all in the video. I hope you like it, and please, once again, I request to please share and like it as much as you can. And thank you for watching.